What is up, Detroit sports bettors, and what is up, sports fans from all over? It's been pretty cool to see because I have been getting messages from people all over the country who have been following the Detroit Sports Bettors YouTube series, who have been following Detroit Sports Bettors on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. And it's just awesome to see this group growing because all we really want to do is give you guys the best information possible, give you guys the best plays possible, because at the end of the day, we all just want to make some extra money. Okay. And as always, this video is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. I am Matt Kowalis, the admin of Detroit Sports Bettors, and let's get into today. So to recap yesterday, we did finish 4-2, and we are now 35-20 on the year, which is a 63% hit rate. So we've been running pretty good, and I hope a lot of you guys have benefited. But yesterday was 4-2. Starting with the Milwaukee Bucks against the Brooklyn Nets, I got absolutely slapped in the face because I had Milwaukee plus 1.5. And that was over about 30 seconds in, but at least the under hit. I can't recall what that was, 236.5 maybe, but it was pretty high up there. I did not think that was going to hit. I really liked the under there. A lot of people were taking the over, but I loved the under there, and that hit pretty easily. And then also with player point props, if there was ever a blowout of like 35 points, you're just never going to hit those player point props. And that's kind of why I was iffy on that game. It was just one of those games I just couldn't get a great read on, and I wanted to stay away from it. And that's why I liked the Suns game so much. The Suns game kind of went exactly how we thought. The Suns covered that -5, except for in the beginning when Denver came out hot. It was just back and forth. Early on, I didn't love that pace. I thought teams were going a little early in the shot clock. They were both making buckets back and forth, so I didn't love the look of that over-under. And if I was a live bettor, I was thinking about changing it to the over, actually, but I'm not much of a live bettor. I just let things ride. And then we also had Mikal Bridges over 11.5. That absolutely smashed. We had DeAndre Ayton over 13.5, and that absolutely smashed. So we ended up 4-2 on the day. And once again, we are 35-20 on the year at 63%. So riding high, and let's keep it going this Tuesday. Let's win some more money. All right. Getting into game 2 of the Atlanta Hawks against the Philadelphia 76ers. This is a bounce back spot for the Philadelphia 76ers, and they are currently sitting with a -6 spread. The over-under for that game is 224 as well. Now, what sticks out to me currently is DeAndre Hunter is questionable, and he is a key player, far more key than people imagine, just because he is someone who can guard Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons. Without him, I see mismatches on the court, and I don't exactly know how serious his injury is. It's a knee issue, so I guess we'll see. But what I think needs to occur is Joel Embiid needs to pull Clint Capella out from that paint with his jump shot. Whether it be the mid-range jumper, hopefully he can hit a 3 in the first quarter or the second quarter just to draw Capella out. If he makes 2, then Capella is forced to come out. And you know what happens? Then Ben Simmons has the opportunity to back down Trae Young or Bogdanovic, as does Tobias Harris. And that's what they need to do. I think they need to run more pick-and-roll offense. They need to slow that shot clock down, and then they need to get the mismatches that they want. Okay, and that is how they bounce back. That is also why I like the under 224. I think the game slows down. Both of these teams are top 12 in the league in defense, with the 76ers being 5th and the Hawks being 12th. And then in addition to that, yes, they finished the season 12th in overall defense, but if they had DeAndre Hunter the entire season and Cam Reddish, who's been out the entire season as well, they would be top 10 for sure. People forget how deep this Atlanta Hawks team is, and I could definitely see this series going 6 or 7 games. The Philadelphia 76ers were my pick for the NBA championship. I didn't buy into the Lakers at plus 400 to beat the Suns, Jazz, Clippers, and either Brooklyn, Milwaukee, or the 76ers. I just thought there was no chance in that happened, so I'm glad they're gone. And then with Brooklyn, they were plus 200 going into the playoffs. And again, plus 200 odds going into the playoffs to win a championship is just, I get it. This is a super team, but one player goes down and it's serious. We don't know. So again, I think James Harden will be able to come back. It sucks because hamstring injuries are the naggiest injuries you can have. They reoccur very often. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to see there. My pick was the 76ers. But another pick that I liked for this game, and that was to give you guys some value, was Danny Green over 2.5 threes. He's hit this 8 out of his last 15 games, and he's missed his last 2. Okay, this is also plus 140 on DraftKings Sportsbook. I think this is a good opportunity for Danny Green to bounce back. When he's missed a couple games in a row, he comes out shooting early, and more often than not, especially in bounce back spots, Danny Green is one of those guys to get the team going. So I do like him here. Okay, and to go over those picks one more time, that's the Philadelphia 76ers -6, under 224, Danny Green over 2.5 threes, plus 140 on DraftKings Sportsbook. Okay, again, that's to give you guys a little value. I think it's a very plausible play, though. Going into the second game of the night, again, we're kind of coming down to the point where there's only 2-game slates. Like, that's going to be the high point. And I'm going to try and hit every single 2-game slate just to give you guys something and give you guys some plays to look forward to going into the playoff night. So this one is the LA Clippers going to the Utah Jazz. That spread is currently -3 for the Jazz and a 220.5 over under. I personally am going with Jazz -3, and here's why. The Los Angeles Clippers just had a 7-game series against the Dallas Mavericks. In Game 6 and Game 7, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard got extended minutes, again in a 7-game series, and they're coming off 1 day of rest. The Utah Jazz have had their rest and are also in Utah, where LA will be traveling to. This is a high altitude. It's a high altitude team. It's a high altitude state. So there is an adjustment period. I'm not sure when the plane landed or not, but coming off a 7-game series with little rest, it's going to be tough to go to Utah and play in high altitude. That's why I like Utah -3. That's why I like the under 220.5. Okay. For this series, though, my key mismatch in this series is Rudy Gobert. They're going to have to do something with Rudy Gobert. That's also why I'm adding Rudy Gobert over 13.5 rebounds and Rudy Gobert over 14.5 points. In this series, Zubac is going to have to get extended run because they need someone on Gobert. But that is still a big mismatch. Rudy Gobert is a far better defensive player, and he's a better offensive player. So I like Rudy Gobert here. I think he's potentially going to get a couple rebound putbacks. I would say 2 or 3, and I think that's why I'm going to go with the over 13.5 rebounds and over the 14.5 points. It just makes sense to me. I think this is the key mismatch in this series. So again, those are the plays today. I hope you guys were successful yesterday. I hope we have another great night to keep things rolling. Like I said, we were 4-2 yesterday, 35-20 overall in the year, and we're only looking to add to that. Again, if you guys have benefited from these videos, if you like these breakdowns, please recommend us. Let's keep this group growing, and let's keep these wins. So as always, Detroit Sports Bettors can be found on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. We do have our podcast on both Apple and Spotify, which we've been hitting we call about some future bets and things of that nature. And then, also I wanted to say, with the Jazz and Clippers series, I think this is a 7-game series. So, and that is something you can bet on in DraftKings Sportsbook. So I'm not personally, I would go the Clippers in this series. I like the Clippers in 7. So that is where I would be going. But if you like the Jazz, I could understand that as well. It's 1 game, and that's just something you can bet on. And it's pretty cool that they give different varieties of bets with these sports books now. So you can kind of do some future bets along with, before the game, in game, honestly, a little bit of everything. So again, thank you for tuning in, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let's get some wins tonight.